Devlog. This is a special introducing with Snooze, all the way from Chicago. Hello, guys.
What's
Woo!
good?
Hey.
Now, you came under my radar because the singer of a band called Glass Grave told me about you. He's a guy called Adam Connor over in the UK here, and he was like, "You got to check out this band, Snooze." And like sometimes when people recommend me a band when I'm at a show, it's just like I wait for a few more people to recommend it, like because people invariably get it wrong when they think about what I like to listen to. But now put your thing on, and it's just yes, he was so on the money, and he was so enthusiastic. I was like, man, I got to listen to this, and yeah, bang on the money. Then I went straight onto the ArcTanGent message board. I was like, who else said this band Snooze, and why haven't I heard about this sooner? And like all these people popped up. So yeah, man, welcome.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for
Thanks for
having
Yeah,
having
us.
us.
thanks for
Awesome.
having us.
Thanks.
your recent album's called "I Know How You Will Die," and yeah, someone asked me what you sounded like, and there's a quote that says "Meshuggah in major," which I think sort of tells like a fraction of the story. How would you
Yeah.
describe yourselves?
Yeah, I feel like that is it's kind of a useful shorthand but yeah, like you said, it doesn't really get the whole picture. I feel like, I guess our story is like we used to be more noodly math rock, very notey, and then but we always kind of had Meshuggah, and like I always listened to After the Burial, and like kind of heavier, gentler, like compound rhythm stuff. But at the time we were just kind of more noodly and more of a traditional math rock band, I guess. But we always still use seven strings. So over the years, and especially after Alex joined, and Alex is definitely way more kind of in the metal sphere, and like we could do more of the things that I originally kind of wanted to do, which is like crazy time signatures, really fun riffs, and just a shitload of breakdowns, but like still with that very like diatonic, very major sounding
Mm.
yeah, like sound, which I love. So I don't know, it's all come together very nicely.
Yeah, it's like shades of like I can hear like Pavement in there, and I can hear Radiohead in there, and I
Yeah.
can hear like Dinosaur Jr. in there, and then I can hear Mastodon, and then I can hear Animals as Leaders. So it's
Hmm.
it's it's a rich pot you're cooking. So
Thank you, thank you.
so yeah, the title of the album, I Know How You Will Die. Now, I know that you put out a record called Familiaris, which was about the life and times of a family dog. Was that a real or a fictional dog, by the way?
It's real. That was my family dog, Maurice. He was,
Right.
yeah, he was our boxer. He was our
Nice.
our good boy. But yeah, yeah, that was a. I mean that song or that album originally started. Me and Cameron were just like, ha ha ha, funny dog album, and then eventually, like, it had been a couple years since Mo passed, but I was like it started to just like kind of form into like the story of like my dog instead of just like some idea of a dog, and I don't know, it kind of made it way more personal, and yeah,
I
and
love that,
that's
man.
kind of yeah.
I love that. I think more albums should be written about dogs than failed relationships, man.
Yeah, totally.
So totally. They're just like dogs are far nicer than humans. Yes, of course. More albums about dogs.
Yes,
So
yeah, they're more
so
pure.
with that in mind, is there a central through line to I Know How You Will Die?
Yeah, so it originally kind of came about. I was kind of set on like a really like nonfiction plus fiction concept at the beginning. Lots of yeah, really contrived ideas, and then eventually it kind of uh, showed itself to me as being like mostly again another nonfiction, like kind of just about my life and mental health struggles and you know suicidal ideation and all that fun stuff, and then also like my friends dying and talking to them and the fucking void and the it's like it's a lot of different just kind of ponderings about mortality and um self-love and eventually accepting yourself and being kind to your inner child and whatnot. I think the title mostly is like in relation to my friend who had a terminal illness, and also the suicidal ideation of myself that I'm hopefully no longer dealing with. But it's kind of just like an allusion to those kinds of questions about mortality, death, knowing what's going to happen. For me, it's also a lot of conversations with the self. So, I being the subject and you also referring to me as the one who will die, but also about my friends. And I don't know. It's a lot there, but
yeah, we like to keep it pretty light. So
well, yeah. I was going to go to that. Musically, man.
The previously described very major sounding music is juxtaposed with these dark themes and lyrics.
Yeah, I could see that. Because I was going to say, it's a very beautiful sounding record. I mean, it opens up with this lovely choral thing, and it gets all orchestral and stuff. I'm going to ask, was that samples or was that actual played instruments on the intro?
Oh, that was all real, baby.
That was all real.
mean, there are some samples like later, like some of the more paddy strings things, but anything in those first like 4 tracks, I would have done more choir, but there's about 3 songs with the real choir. Dimitri was in it. We had a bunch of like fellow musicians from the scene. I basically just like put it up on Instagram. I was like, who wants to be in the Snooze choir? And then a bunch of people responded, and I was like, fuck, we got to actually do this now. And then so arranged it, put it in sheet music, which I don't normally do. And a bunch of people showed up for the live session. A couple people from like other places. Like, so the orchestra is mostly all just sent in. People recorded them and sent them in, and we just, edited them together, put an IR on there. But the choir session we actually had in person with our friend Kyle and Rachel at this place, Piano Forte in downtown Chicago. And 25 people showed up to that, and some additional people also sent parts in, just kind of, it was fucking incredible. But yeah, the orchestra in the first song, that's all real instruments. Except for the timpani. That one I stole offline. I was like, I don't have a timpani.
Timpani, well, yeah, you can find that quite easy, I should imagine.
Wait, didn't we record that in the session, or did you not use that?
There was drums. Okay. There was the thunder drums. That was the big rumbling.
But there's actual timpani in there.
The pitched timpani was something I stole off YouTube.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We're all learning.
And the cymbals. Those cymbals were stolen too.
While we're on drums, which one of you gentlemen plays the drums?
That's me.
Yeah,
That's
Alex.
You. My God.
Yeah. Right? Right?
What a performance. Like, unreal. I mean, the last time I heard drums like that was like George Colias or something. Like, so
Wow.
Anyway, big ups on that.
Thank you so much.
So how's that songwriting process like happen? Like, does it start with a riff? Is it a jam room situation? Is it a demoing, sending out situation?
So for this album, I had a lot of it written before we had like a full lineup, but mostly, so I'll do like a riff and I'll program some drums and then kind of form that into a song. A lot of the time, the ideas just sit there for years. But eventually it makes it to like when we're like, okay, we're going to record these live at least for this album. For our next release, we're hoping to do like more of a jam room situation. We bring a riff to each other and we work it out together. But for this album, I had a lot of it written and programmed on, some like drum MIDI. And then I gave it to Alex to make it more like good and, drummable and playable
the drum
and real.
stuff. Also, the playable thing, that's always a big one. Just like, man, there's 6 limbs happening right now. There's
the
3
guitar
different
player
snare drums on this song.
Programming but he would come back. He basically transcribed it. He just like listened to it. I would send him the MIDI, but he's like, eh. And so he basically like transcribed it by ear, also programmed it, and then we were like, yes, no, this part too crazy, this part whatever. So that was pretty collaborative. Then we recorded the drums live at this place, Bricktop. Fucking enormous drum room, like overheads like 30 feet away, and that sounded amazing. And for guitars and vocals, Dimitri and Mike came through to so basically all the guitar and vocals we just did at my house. So we did reamp the guitars in a studio and like fucking cranked it, but most of the DI signal and the vocals we just did it at my house. So Dimitri and Mike came through for that, and then we reamped at Olmsted for the guitars, and then we handed it off to our boy Corey Batista, who worked with like Seder and Challenger Deep, and like the mix finally all came together. Like people have been asking, just like, how do you get your guitar tone? I'm like, the guitar tone is there, but the mix was like 90% Corey. Like he just fucking killed it. It sounds so good.
Absolutely.
So that and like the amps at Olmsted were like these custom built crazy machines. Those things were awesome.
The Dean Costellos.
Oh, the Dean Costello.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
we used my Mesa TC50, and I don't think we used my Emperor, but there was 2 big ass Emperor cabs. So we had them going to each of them. I think we had 4 mics total per guitar track. So we had 2 outs, 2 outs from each amp. So it was just fucking massive. So there was, I think, like 16 guitar tracks or something. It was fucking wild.
Wow,
all very organic sounding. Like it sounded so good.
Wow, your mix engineer really does deserve props.
Yeah, honestly,
he's sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Corey Batista.
Yeah, man. And so, the other thing, like I was bigging up the drums, but also the bass, it's like so locked in, like absolutely, like it sounds. I mean, the whole thing is so tight, and it all sounds like one. It all works together as one piece. Was that very intentional that it sort of all flowed together for the duration of the record?
Yeah, so that's like probably the biggest time suck of bringing an album together. Like, nobody asks me to do this, but it's just something I've made myself do. But it's just all the chord transitions, they have to be composed to flow with each other. So if I know that this song's in A, this one's in E, like some part, like you could just like instill the last EP. There was a couple songs where it's just like, okay, hard stop, next song. It's fine. It really doesn't have to be like this, but it's fun. It's also like a problem solving like thing. And yeah, it's been fun. But yeah, in terms of the transitions, like they'll basically be like, I have this tempo, this key, figure it out. I'll iterate and just, make it work. But it's a very time consuming process because it's not like sometimes it is. It's not as spur of the moment as a lot of the riffs that, like originated a song that were very spur of the moment. They're just like, oh, I got to put that into something. It's very like iterative and obsessive and just like, okay, this doesn't feel right, you know. But yeah, it's definitely very intentional.
It makes for a very immersive listen. You can really lose yourself in the record. It's like watching a really good movie, with all its peaks and valleys and all that sort of stuff. So that's incredible. So touring wise, have you been out on the road much recently for this record?
We just got back from a run.
Yeah,
last week or something. We went out for 10 days.
Yeah.
Everything we do is pretty we're still pretty DIY when it comes to our touring efforts, at least to this point. So we did a 10-day run basically, and it was just us, and we had some really cool one-off shows in the middle. We had one show that was an emo fest in Oklahoma. If you're familiar with the band Kaonashi, we actually had a show with them in Texas. Just kind of worked out that our routes around lined up for this one day. But it was super cool though. Just the kind of support with the new album coming out and getting to kind of do just our own thing and getting to play longer sets, getting to play some of the new songs. Some of the ones we're able to actually play well live.
Yeah, man.
That's another thing. But it was super cool. And hopefully there's going to be some more cool stuff coming up soon too.
Rad. Any plans to visit the UK at all?
Yes.
Oh, maybe, perhaps.
It might not. It probably won't be announced. It may not be announced by the time this goes out, but we are playing ArcTanGent this year.
Oh my God. I'm going to be there. That's so sick.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, this won't be out for another 5-6 weeks. So
okay, perfect.
That was cool. Perfect. I think I'm sure it'll be out by then. So
that was my next question.
You're on the
inside, heard about
George.
Festival? I was like, have you heard of the ArcTanGent Festival? You should play at ArcTanGent.
It's basically what we think of as the pinnacle.
Yes.
You've reached the pinnacle of math rock when you get invited to play ArcTanGent.
Yes, literally. As a kid, you saw Animals as Leaders and these big
Meshuggah.
The
that was
fest
last year
for
as well.
us.
All the time.
And
Between the Buried to Me's on this year. I was 16
crazy.
when I heard of them. 20 years ago, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah.
There's literally so much stuff on. You forget what's on because there's so much.
Seriously.
It's my favorite festival by a long way. So congratulations on that.
Hopefully we'll be able to meet up then. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely, man. Oh, and Envy are playing this year, man. Fucking Envy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, such a great band. So that's answered my question. I was like, are you aware of our UK festivals? Yes, you're very aware of our UK festivals. So that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we've got a couple of others here as well. Portals and Strange Forms. They're great.
Yeah,
great
that Portal.
too.
Yeah, that's been looking really cool, especially so we got added really late. It was only on our release tour 2 weeks ago that we even got an offer.
That's sick.
And we're definitely trying to. I know it's kind of the guy who has been helping a lot, John from Atonal, has kind of illustrated there's a season, it's festival season, and a lot of the time the bands will try to go from ArcTanGent to Port just bopping around. But we're a little late to the game. It might be just a one-off that we just kind of eat the plane ticket, but we're hoping to get a couple more DIY shows or something, a couple more dates. But even if we just play that, it's going to be such a good. It's going to be the.
We kind of looked at it, or we were just it's going to be expensive, but even if it's just the one show, it's
no?
What excuse? Excuse do we have to not come to the UK, come play a festival, and then also maybe just hang out for a week or something? So,
oh man, you got to stick around.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So who's on your playlist currently? I'll go around the group here. So who should we be checking out according to you guys? What's banging around in your headphones? And I'll start with you, Logan.
Go first.
Yeah, Logan be the guy.
Oh, geez. I've been listening to a lot of older shit. This Underworld album, 100 Days Off, I'm kind of obsessed
that's great.
with. Yeah, and that's like, I think 2002, 2001.
Yeah.
And, I love that. I'm into a lot of like very melodic, dancey type things nowadays. Our friends in there's so many Chicago bands that we could shout out. Like Alex is in another band, Bosses, that is incredible. Dimitri's band Innocuous is like the best math rock around. We got fucking our friends in Football Head, Meth.
Meth. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. Like it's all
Parachute
in this,
Day, Origami Button.
Parachute Day. They're all in this like this group of friends that don't necessarily play shows together all the time, but we are all just like hanging out all the time.
We all know each other. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so great.
You've been hanging out with Meth at ArcTanGent.
Oh yes. Yeah, I think they play the day after us. I think I think we're playing Thursday, and I think they play Friday.
Right.
But yes, very excited.
We might come across them.
Yeah. Can't wait to see those guys. They're brutal.
Be back.
Yeah, really. Like Logan and I were at their album release show last year. They did like an in the round show at a really cool
at Talia,
venue called Talia Hall, and it was like one of the most like unreal performances I've seen. It was like haunting. Like it was so sick. It was so cool.
Yeah, they got Dan on second percussion and just everything was red.
It's just red.
They're so good. Alex, what have you been listening to?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just like trying to think because like I'm really depending on what's going on, I don't listen to that much music at a time if I have like a lot of other like stuff with different bands going on. So I was trying to think. I'm really enjoyed the new Thornhill record. If you're familiar with them. Yeah. More on the metalcore side of things. There's a guy called Andosan who he's out of California. He's really cool. It's like it's like hip hop, but then he's also like thumping on an 8-string. It's really fucking cool.
In the Polyphia
that's a couple of things.
Yes,
basically. Yeah. It's very similar like style, but that's really fucking cool. I feel like that's like literally all. I'm just looking through and it's like I haven't looking through my phone. It's like I haven't listened to any of these.
I have one more. I've been obsessed with Initiate, this hardcore band. Like the vocalists is just like the best, and the instrumentation, it goes from like kind of more like hardcore vibes to kind of like post rocky, like the stuff that we kind of get into, like very major, like but just like this incredible vocals. But yeah, what about Dimitri or Mike or
let's see. I always like tense up when people ask this question because I'm like,
I had to open my Spotify. I'm like, shit.
Okay, I did too, to remind myself. Similar to Alex, I listen to a lot of music when I have to learn something for like a specific thing. So I'm listening to that. And then I'm also, let's see. Oh, the new Lobby Boxer is insane. I've been listening to that a lot.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Also big St. Louis choke artist homies. We love
for real. I mean, always hail the sun. Peo from Kaunashi recommended Love Rarely to us lately. So
Love Rarely.
They're so good too.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Really
they're
good.
Awesome.
So
I'm in Leeds right now. They're from Leeds.
Yeah.
I see those guys.
Dude, we got recommended them, and they were like, "You guys should play shows with them when you're in the UK or whatever."
I already love that band.
Like, I would love to do that. That's like literally perfect. Maybe that happens someday. Hopefully.
I think you'll see them at ArcTanGent. I think they're at ArcTanGent.
Yes.
Yeah, they're this Saturday, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. They're so good.
Cool. Mike, what you listening to, mate?
Yeah, I actually was going to say Love Rarely because we heard of them last week and I was like, I'll check it out. And I was like, oh my God, I've been jamming it every day. Like,
I'm so dope. I'm so chuffed you guys have got them.
Pretty much like all my favorite math bands are from the UK. TTNG I got into like 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When Minus the Bear like called it quits, which they're coming back now. Said I'm gonna go see them. Fucking Delta Sleep like just
Yeah.
came
Oh,
into
yeah.
my life and filled that hole, and I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
Yeah,
So
something
I
in the
got
water
lucky enough
over
to
there.
see that. Yeah, no, for real. I just love that shit, dude.
that's
I
awesome.
really dig like Light. Light's one of my favorite like
Yes.
instrumental melody bands. Um, recently got into this band Devolution, which is from Japan, and they're just like the craziest fucking hard. I don't even know how to explain it. They're fucking wild. They're scary as shit. Um, I listen to all sorts of shit, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint like a favorite at any given point because like it just changes. It's ever evolving.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys live when you come over for ArcTanGent. That's such a star billing. So big shout outs from the UK here. We look forward to receiving you all soon. Anything upcoming that you have coming up, like any releases or anything, or is it just the album at the moment?
We're pretty much just
Logan's already
vibing
been
on the.
sending some ideas, so
Oh
I'm starting
yes.
to work on some
Got
shit
some bits and
with him.
pieces, yeah.
Yeah, putting some bits and pieces together, putting our bits together.
Hell
Yeah. We're combining bits.
Playing
Yeah,
Pugfest and Choke Artist Fest in June and
Yes.
July, respectively.
Fuck
Cool.
Yeah, we got a run to the East Coast in July that we're putting together some dates to and from. So, but Choke Artist Fest is locked in. There's a couple more that will be announced in July, but yeah, Pugfest end of June. We got a show this Saturday. I mean, this will be in the past by the time, but we got a couple shows. Chicago and Milwaukee upcoming this week. And then I think we got a show with Kawanashi early June. Still have to confirm, but yeah, like the main ones are that run in July, got Pugfest, and then August Arctangent, baby.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Right, one last question. This is the last question I'm asking everyone this year, and it's got to be the first thing that comes off the top of your head, right? So the Board of Education come to you and they say, want a recommendation for one track to put on the national curriculum that every kid who's about 18 needs to hear before they leave school to set them up for life. Any genre at all. First thing that comes off the top of your head, what should every kid hear?
Throw some
Dyer's Eve
D's
by
by Rich
Metallica.
Boy.
Dead.
Spy Dolphin by Delta Sleep.
Like, we had three at the same time there. What was that by Metallica?
Yeah. Wait.
What was the
what?
Metallica
Yeah,
one?
Oh, Dyer's Eve.
Guys, Eve, good call. Best
my
Metallica song ever.
Hell yeah.
I said throw some D's by Rich Boy.
which was the correct answer.
They need to know. But Mike said something
Surprise.
too, right?
Yeah, what
But
was
yeah,
mine?
the Spy Dolphin by Delta Sleep.
Nice.
I'm surprised
that's a-
Dimitri
that's a
didn't
good
say
one.
something by fucking Project Pat though.
My second
Oh,
was
where you
Take
at,
the
Dimitri?
Charge.
Yeah, Take the Charge by Project Pat. That's a good one.
And Alex,
Yeah, what do I
Oh,
do?
this is like one of my worst abilities ever.
the kids need you, man.
Literally, yeah, I know.
You're failing the
Board of
kids
Education.
right now.
Come on.
Beer by Real Big Fish.
There we go.
Real
Nice.
fish. Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
dude. I
18.
would have seen that coming.
They're 18. Yeah. Oh, no, it's 21 over your side, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, thank you very much for talking to me today, guys. It's
Thanks
been
so
an
much for
absolute
having
pleasure.
us, man.
For real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great
thank
talking
you,
to you.
George.
We'll see you in a few months.